Ben Kubiak, welcome back.
Hello,
Number 2.
Sid Chan. Number 2, how are you?
I'm not too bad, bro. Stressed.
You're stressed. What are
Yeah.
you stressed about, Sid?
Oh, existential, where my life is
well,
going.
you're
in the
too young
future.
to be having existential dread.
That's what I thought too, but
Yeah.
apparently not. I was living my life, but, just had a few people give me a good kick up the buttocks.
Well, I mean, it's a strange dichotomy, isn't it? On the one hand, you receive a lot of positive feedback and people telling you that you've got a great future ahead of you, and then you're faced with the inevitable reality that suddenly you have to organize said future and try to will it into existence.
That's the crazy thing about this entire situation. I think a lot of us are in, but I can only speak for myself, really. Like the path that's been so graciously laid out to me by my first teacher, and
Rolled out the red carpet.
my second teacher, literally, and I've just been like following the yellow brick road, and now I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. I've got to make these decisions by myself.
Yeah.
And I better not. Better not make the wrong one. No, I'm not really concerned about that, but it's a lot of money at stake to...
Well, money is money, but there's also just working out where your future lies. I mean, what the yellow brick road, what do the future bricks look like for you?
Oh, going overseas looks like now.
Well, it's
In
all very...
in
a
the
lot of
near
people...
future.
I hear a lot of people say, I'm going to go overseas, as if going overseas is this one catch-all, fix-everything solution that suddenly magically fixes everything. But what does it actually mean? Like, I can get on a plane and go and land in London tomorrow if I want to, but what do you do once you're there is the thing. So what is the path?
Well, it looks like for a lot of the people that are in a similar position to me now, to audition for schools and have all consultation lessons and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure.
And I think the thing that stresses me out is I feel a little bit less prepared than those said people. Like, because this wasn't my original plan. It's just been...
What was your original plan? Did you have one?
I was just kind of like a passive kind of like, I'll take what comes kind of.
Yeah.
Not really anything, not really going out and grabbing anything.
Yeah, I was like that for a long time.
Yeah.
Because the issue that I always had, and perhaps you've been having as well, is I used to just always spend my entire life just waiting for things to fall into my lap. Because the thing is, things did keep falling into my lap. And so I thought I could just keep doing that, I was, in my last year of university panicking, and suddenly an offer of a doctoral stipend fell in my lap. And I'm just sort of gracefully waltzing along going, well, I guess this will carry on forever. And then it's at a certain point, the rubber hits the road and you realize, no, this isn't going to go on forever.
Yeah, exactly.
And, this is something my therapist told me. Since we're getting into stress and stuff, I was talking to my therapist because I had a little bit of a mental breakdown a few years ago, and I was saying to her how I live life in this way, and she said, well, just imagine what you could achieve or what could happen to you if you actually put even just a tiny bit of effort into just putting yourself out there and trying to actually make things happen for yourself. So I put literally a very tiny amount of effort into it, but then suddenly things started to happen. So, it's just getting started and doing something. There's some value in doing that. Sow the seeds, and you can't be quite sure what will grow, but it's if you don't sow any seeds at all, nothing will grow guaranteed.
I think I've yeah, you're so right. I know that this is the case in other aspects of my life. For example, with the gym and jiu-jitsu, I want to lose weight, so I'm on the diet and I work out like almost every day. I want to get better at jiu-jitsu, so I go to jiu-jitsu every day, and it's more accountable. But I don't know, for singing, for some reason, I'm just like, I practice. That's all fine and well, but when it comes down
that puts you ahead of quite a lot of singers,
Yeah, even then, like my practice isn't as maybe rigorous as it might be, or as kind of
You'd be surprised.
regimented as I just kind of do it.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. I know so many singers who don't practice whatsoever, and for some of them it seems to work out okay, and for others you get the feeling they'd be a lot better if they did practice.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
It's interesting because for me, I'm in a position where you think your path ahead is uncertain, but for me, I'm envious of you because your path looks so much more clear than mine.
Yeah, you're down a very specific and niche kind of...
Well, exactly. That's the thing. And there's not a lot of help for it. Like,
Yeah.
I can't enter the Lexus Repetiteur quest. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So this is a difficult thing, So, but for you, it seems that for all singers, the good thing about New Zealand is that there is a fairly clearly delineated path laid out. You go to university, you get your degree, or even sometimes you don't get your degree in the case of some very successful singers that we know of. And then you do some competitions along the way. Hopefully you win some of those. If you win enough of those, maybe you apply to some overseas competitions, and maybe you do well enough in those. And then when you think it's time to go overseas, you do some consultation lessons with people overseas, and you hope that you win some of the big competitions, or you can raise some money some other way so that you can fund your overseas study. You go and you study overseas, and that hopefully gives you some ins with some other major conservatoires or otherwise performance organizations, and then you've got your foot in the door in the industry, and then you work hard, and it all goes from there. It seems fairly clearly delineated, and I'm sitting in my poor little repetitory chair behind my fucking piano going, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I can't do that. So, from the benefit of perspective is something interesting. I envy you.
Yeah, I don't. It's so easy to get in your own head about these things, and it's difficult because it's such a saturated market, especially when you get overseas. For singers,
now that's where I don't envy you.
Yeah,
lot of singers out there, a lot of tenors out there.
A lot of tenors out there, and that's the thing. It was made kind of clear to me very recently that I have a specific skill set that's very uncommon in the country. But when you go overseas, just by pure numbers.
Oh, yeah.
There are going to be plenty of people that can sing what I sing. And
in South America, they're churning out 10,000 of you a day. I don't know
literally.
how. I don't know how.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's Peruvian.
A million little Juan Diego Flores is coming out and singing high seas all day.
That's nuts, literally. It's crazy.
Something in the diet. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
something
in
the
Russia,
water.
nothing but bases all day long.
Yeah, it's the cold. That's what it is. If you grow up in a warm place, maybe it affects
I think we're dangerously verging on pseudoscience at this point.
No, it's a weird little thing we're all in at the moment.
Do you struggle at all with motivation to actually do work and practice and study in these things? Just the pure motivation to get up and start doing some stuff.
It's such a yes, no. Yes.
That's
and
not
no.
an answer.
Yeah. No. When I'm motivated to do something, I'll do it. If I know I need to practice for this thing, then I'll do it. But sometimes it just gets too overwhelming, and I just can't.
Yeah.
I just can't even think about this right now.
That.
So I just sleep. That's the only way I can get through it.
Yeah.
For example, a couple of arias I'm singing for this competition coming up, and I don't know. Just one day it just wasn't working. I was like, I can try and just kind of bash this out all I can. And I tried, and it still wasn't working. It used all the tools in my toolbox.
Yeah,
still wasn't working. I was like, I just can't do this anymore. So I just went to sleep.
That's fair. This is why I quit singing.
It's just
sometimes it just doesn't work, and there's no explanation.
Understand. And it's so it's just so demoralizing.
Yeah. Do you feel demoralized much?
At the moment, yeah, all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's something I struggle with as well. I mean, my thing at the moment is there are several different things I'm trying to do because I, like you, am preparing for this mystical move overseas, wherever it may be. And of course, the paths for me are rather different than they are for you. I might study more, but on the balance of probabilities, it looks like probably not. I'm probably looking to just enter the industry at some point. But with that in mind, I'm trying to develop certain skills. So, for instance, I'm trying to learn German properly. Because I only learnt German I have an A-level in German, but I did it at a very dodgy language school. This sort of a back alley German degree, that they were handing out where, the teacher would somehow mystically have access to certain phrases that just happened to pop up in the exam in advance, and stuff like that. So as a result, I never really learned German very thoroughly. And I remember I went to a German A-level class, which consisted of the teacher, me, and this 35-year-old guy who could actually speak German fine. And me sitting there in the corner going, ja, oh, wirklich, ja, ich wolle gehen in Urlaub, ja. And that's about it. So I never really learned it properly. So I'm trying to relearn it properly. And also, I'm trying to develop a bit of knowledge of the repertoire and all that stuff. But sometimes when I sit down and start to do the work, I'm often suddenly beset by the thought of, what if I'm wasting my time? You know what I mean? Like, what if this is not what I should be devoting my efforts towards? What if this actually isn't the precise niche of things in which my future lies? Because I don't know. And so what if I'm just wasting my time chasing something that is actually barking up the wrong tree? And then when I sit down and actually think about it, I'm fairly certain no. But on the other hand, it's very easy to get demoralized. I'm also, by nature, paralytically lazy. And so any chance my brain has to find a thought that will remove me from the obligation to actually do any work in the day, I will wholeheartedly take it. So, it is a struggle. It is an uphill struggle. Another thing that I think is probably affecting us is that in the last year, we haven't been able to do very much.
I try and not use that as an excuse as much as I can
you shouldn't
anymore.
use an excuse, but you can't deny it must have an impact. Because why do we do this? Because it's fun.
Do you mean Auckland specifically?
Well,
or just...
New Zealand, really. I mean, why do we do this? Because it's fulfilling to do the thing. That's really the only reason to do this, because God knows it doesn't pay very well, and God knows it's hardly stress-free.
Yeah.
So the reason to do this is because it's a fun and rewarding thing to do. But when we haven't actually gotten the reward of actually getting to do the thing for the past year, well, it's very easy to start sort of running out of gas in the tank to keep going, So it's a tricky thing. It's a very tricky thing.
Yeah, I mean, throughout the lockdown, I didn't lose, especially this last one. The first couple, I just didn't want to do any singing at all.
Yeah.
But this last one, I was like, the only way I can kind of keep this going is to practice, and that was the thing that got me up in the morning, really. Which is quite nice because it really did change my perspective on how to practice, and I really learnt what I needed to do.
Yeah. So how do you deal with stress, other than punching other people in the face, but in a controlled environment?
Yeah, you said that super
or is that about it?
I don't know. It's just the stress manifests itself in so many different ways. When I don't feel stress, it's just it's very bizarre for me at the moment because, the voice feels fine.
Yeah.
And then when I feel like the moment comes, it just kind of seizes up, and it's just not as there as I feel like it should be for the level that I'm.
Well, I mean, you're
hardly
the first singer to have felt this.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a fairly common problem. I mean, it's the voice, above all else, is the instrument that is most affected by the mental, and so that happens. But it'll come. It'll come. You're not the first, and you won't be the last to be affected by that. And your work in the practice room will be very helpful for that.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how much of it is just me bashing it out on the in the studio. Versus me just going out and doing it. Of course,
there's no substitute for going out and doing it.
Yeah. For example, Mes Amis I've done a few times now. Once in voice class, once in a rest home concert.
And it's still the high passaggio that's the tricky thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just that
C is usually fine, right?
Yeah, the C's are fine.
Exactly.
The D is fine at the end as well. It's just that there's 10 bars.
I hate people who do the D at the end. I hate those
I don't care because I can do it.
I know you can do it and I can't, but still, I don't like it. It's unmusical, all right?
No, I don't care. It's not about the musicality.
This is an aria with 9. This is an aria with 9 high C's in it, and it takes a special kind of person to think, not enough high notes. Let's add a D. I don't like that, but that's all right. You do you.
Oh no, I'm sure.
How does stress manifest itself for you, other than performance anxiety, like in your day to day?
I get very snappy with people.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, super. My fuse just shortens.
Should I be concerned or
no?
Okay.
I just get really quiet and introverted and just think, because it's not like I'm just stressed about whether or not I'm doing good enough. That's it.
But I have an issue with the whole yardstick of good enough. I mean, if For most people who are of a driven mindset such as yours, you will never be good enough because you will always set a standard for yourself that's slightly higher than what your current level of performance is.
Yeah, I don't know if it's... Yeah, 100%.
A better
You're so
metric
right.
is as good as you can, or as good as your current ability
Do you know
allows.
how... I'll be perfectly honest. When you... As good as you can is just such a foreign, statement.
But you can't ask for any better than as good as you can.
Yeah, I know. But
that is definitionally as good as you are able to do,
Yeah. It's just like... But yeah, but at a certain point you just have to... for me, which is super problematic, though what if that's just not good enough? You know what I mean? And that's a question that
good enough for what?
Oh, there seems to be an objective bar that you have to meet. There are certain requirements you have to meet to make it in this.
Well, again, I have issues with all the concepts that you're presenting. Is the thing.
Go.
So for good enough, we can deal with another time. But also, this concept of making it, is something that can be quite destructive. Because everybody's version of making it, or for most people, their version of making it is reaching it to literally the very top of the pyramid.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, there is one person who sits at the top of every pyramid. So if you're not that one person, you will perennially feel like you have not made it. So making it manifests itself in different forms. There is not one finish line that constitutes making it.
Yeah.
So don't think in terms of making it. I mean, for me currently, I have to fight this feeling as well because I have this feeling as well that I haven't made it, and then I sit down and look at myself and I ask myself the question: are you currently making a sustainable living as a musician? And I say to myself, yes, and I say, fine, then you've made it.
I have not done that.
Okay, fine. Well, I have, but if you told me 4 years ago, if you asked me 5 years ago what objectives I wanted to achieve and at what point I would feel that I had achieved a satisfactory level of success, it would be way lower than where I am at currently.
Yeah.
So, why should I still feel dissatisfied? Now, I still do feel dissatisfied because, these are the mental struggles that we challenge. But you have to sometimes challenge that mentality,
I wonder if I want that to go away, though.
What?
This... I want to learn how to manage it, but I don't want it to go away. I always want to be able to strive for that. I don't want to settle.
Yeah. You don't want to lose the drive, but you want to be able to maintain the drive while not having it make you miserable.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just
it's pointless to be driven and successful and hate yourself. This is not a good goal in life,
it's something that I'm learning now. For example, the audition that I just did, I felt I was sang both of the arias that I sang a lot better than I did in there.
Yeah.
And so I came out of it and thinking okay, it's fine, it's done. You can't change it now, so it's okay. And then the other half of my brain, it's like the angel and devil on your shoulder. And the devil was just yeah, but if you don't feel bad about this, then you don't care. It's that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I understand.
Well, I do care. I just can't. I just don't want to feel miserable.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, exactly. This is the thing. There must be healthier ways of motivating oneself.
Yeah.
Because this is it's a very vicious cycle you can get into if you're not careful. Because again, you will perpetually move the yardstick of what is acceptable to you to slightly beyond where you are. It's an unfortunate fact of this kind of mentality. I do it myself. Like I say, if I think of the goals that I had 5 years ago, I would have considered it a dream to have a job in a school doing music that kept me going. I would go, oh, what Elysian heights of paradise such a thing would be. And now that's my least favorite of the things that I do.
Yeah.
So, it's the yardstick does perpetually move. So you have to be conscious of that.
It's very recently, I would say maybe the last 3 days, my mindset has changed.
Right.
Besides today, which is, I think it's just a bad day.
Right.
But ever since the motivation to move overseas has happened, and take the steps to building a career, contacting various teachers and looking at applications for schools and such. It's really changed my mindset a lot in terms of whether or not I feel like I should be in the position that I am. Like I was talking with my coach today, and she said, "Do you think you have imposter syndrome?" I was like, I feel like I have to be a little bit more successful for that to for that to count. But to a certain extent, like, yeah, a little bit. Like I see like the people around me work a lot harder than I do.
Who are you looking at? I don't see the people around you working a lot harder than you do.
I can't say on here. But
no, I know.
Yeah.
But you work by the standards of a singer, which are pretty fucking low, I will admit. But by the standards of a singer, Sid, you work pretty hard. Yeah. You have a pretty decent work ethic. There are people with significantly worse work ethics than you who are doing just fine, thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so weird how I can. That's why I think too. Like I don't know. The people that I'm around, specifically at uni, for example, I feel like they work a lot harder than me, and I'm the one getting the opportunities. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of one of those things.
Yeah, I feel like this is a bit of Instagram syndrome, where you see edited highlights of someone else's life, and you fill in the blanks of what you assume the rest must be based on that. Like other people don't see the work that you do alone in a practice room or whatever. And you just see of other people their best moments when they reveal the fruits of their labors or whatever. But you don't know what consumes people's lives 90% of the time. So, you have to be... Oh, and also, this is a difficult one. And I go back and forth as to whether it is actually right. But on balance, I think it is correct that you should stop trying to judge yourself by reference to other people.
Everyone tells me that.
I know, and I understand the resistance to it because I resist it myself. So here's the thing: but you can look at other people and take inspiration from what they are doing and wish to emulate their success. But it is bad. It's just not healthy to look at another person and go, I am not as good as them, therefore I suck. This is not a healthy way of motivating yourself.
Yeah.
You can go, wow, that person is so successful, I should do some things that they do, that have helped them along the way. Fine. Okay. But don't use it as a means of judging yourself or your character. Because this is the way to self-loathing.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm something of an expert on self-loathing.
Yeah, I think that's literally, like I say, it's just been a big mental shift. I could feel the click happen after I got the first response back from a teacher overseas.
Right.
I was like, cool. Yeah, I'm meant to be
a good response.
Yeah, great response. Yeah. And someone that. I'll say the name, I don't care. Emmanuel told me at the Circle 100 audition, I shouldn't have said that. That's fine. He told me, we're here for a reason.
Yeah.
That's fine if I say that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, cool. It's like, we're all here for a reason.
Yeah.
So don't look down on yourself. Because you feel like you might not fit in here.
Yeah.
You're here because, you're good. And when he said that, I was like, didn't really...
I mean, it's a good thing to realize that you are suffering from success. If that makes sense. You're only in this position of stress because others have deemed you of a sufficient quality to be put in these circumstances. So it is suffering from success to a certain degree. So,
I think it really is affecting the singing, honestly.
Oh, of course it is.
Because when on Monday, for example, I was having that's when the mindset shift happened.
Right, yeah.
And I sang an aria in voice class that usually I have a lot of struggle with because it's kind of long and it's kind of notoriously hard a little bit. It's kind of
what was it?
Una Furtiva.
Oh, God. Okay, yes.
Fam, it was fine.
Okay.
Yeah. The best I've ever sung it, and I was like, I don't care. I'm just going to balls to the wall. Mm-hmm. Let's go.
Right.
And usually my struggle is just getting to the end.
Really?
Yeah, well...
what tires you out? Like going up to the A flats and stuff, or just sitting on the Fs?
I think it's just like I try and make sure every single note is like just placed right.
Yeah.
Instead of following the phrase.
All right.
So that's kind of what I think.
Yeah.
So by the time I get to the end,
yeah,
I haven't followed any phrasing. I've focused on every single note. Yeah. So it's like kind of mentally tiring as well as vocally tiring. I have the same thing with Disbuildness.
Disbuildness?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's just a killer aria, though. Yeah, it's all up around the G's and the A flats. Yeah. It's in the hyper. Sorry, this section of the podcast is very boring to anyone who's not a lyric tenor, but...
this is, if everyone listening that isn't a music friend, this is what I have to deal with, okay? This is my life.
Yeah. I mean, Sid is, for those who don't know, Sid is in a position where there are certain pieces of music that he is just sort of expected to have in his repertoire and to be able to deliver at the drop of a hat, and they're not easy. That's why they are the pieces that you're supposed to be able to render. So Una furtiva lacrima, a very sustained aria, most of which is intended to be sung quite quietly, but then emerge at the end into a glorious major key blossom. And Disbuildnis is by Mozart, and therefore it's fucking impossible, because the man is a sadist when it comes to singers. So it just all sits up high and it just will not leave. Oh God, yes.
It just all sits in like the worst part of the voice. To be honest, that aria actually kind of fine.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I've heard it. I've heard the Fs in that aria just kill tenor after tenor after tenor.
Dallas or Paches gets me though.
But that's just long.
Yeah. It's kind of like one of those high, like sort of quiet ones where people get lulled into a sense of this is meant to be quiet.
Yeah.
But it's...
But, if you want to have an easy time singing Mozart, just sing Monostatos aria and, wimp out of it,
Yeah, so it's just...
That's the end of the music nerdery portion of the podcast now.
No, I think we can keep going. This is so... I think everyone, if you're singing at this level, I don't want to say a high level because that's different for everyone, but I think for... being 22, 23 kind of thing.
How old are you?
22.
You're all right, man. Can't just,
No, but I feel like everyone kind of has this, for the majority, has a similar kind of narrative that goes on in their head.
Yeah.
And it's hard when externally you get compared to other singers a lot.
Do you get compared to other singers a lot?
When I was younger, I got compared to Manase all the time.
Oh, well, of course, when you were younger, because you came from the same teacher, of course. Yes.
But now not as much because...
Well, I mean, you're a voice that's not the same as most of the other tenors coming out here.
No, so it doesn't really happen as much.
That's the thing, Not a lot of up-and-coming Rossini-ish tenor. Like, E-Man is not singing the same repertoire as you.
No.
So you're all right.
Yeah. But to be honest, I've only just kind of gotten a grip of what tenor I might be very recently.
Really?
Like since opera school.
Oh, really?
I had no idea what I was...
okay.
What my...
Should we talk about opera school? Because you had... So. I would say, would you agree, you had a very... an unexpectedly positive experience at opera school.
Yeah.
It went better than you thought it would.
I was more focused.
Yeah.
The first time I went, it was very overwhelming.
Yeah.
I remember calling Aotearoa after the first week, being like, I'm not meant to be here. Everyone's
very
so
intense. Good. They try to provide you with something similar to what you can experience at an international full-time school of this kind, which is a very good thing. Yeah,
no, the first time I loved it. Second time I loved it too.
Yeah.
But the first time was really overwhelming, and just... like I said, I remember calling Aotearoa after the first week, being like, I don't think I'm meant to be here. The people here singing a rep that I haven't even touched yet.
Yeah.
And they're younger than me, yada, yada, yada. And he was like, just chill out.
Yeah.
You just got to relax. You just got to take it.
Yeah.
I remember being even more frustrated because F sharps and Gs for singers for the non-singers who are listening, that is called the passaggio for tenors, which is like the hardest. It's the mixing point between the chest voice and the head voice, and it's very difficult to manage. And those two notes, F sharp and G, were non-existent.
Yeah,
in my voice. So,
right. Yeah.
And everything was lifted and all the stuff. It was really frustrating, especially when you're hearing all these amazing singers that are coming through. And again, didn't have a good gauge of where my voice was going in terms of repertoire or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then the second year I came in, bought I made a conscious decision to bring super hard rap.
Yeah, we noticed.
Yeah. Well, they shouldn't. You know what? I got dogged on so much for bringing super easy rap the first year.
No, that's fair.
So
for those who don't know, Sid was there as a student and I was there as a staff member. So I got
the second year.
Yeah, this year, right. So I got an interesting insight into this because, of course, everyone had to put down 3 arias that they had brought to the school. And it was interesting the differing approaches everybody took. Some people brought 3 arias that they had been singing for 83 years. Some people brought 3 arias that we knew for a fact they knew maybe one of, possibly half of that one. And some people, like Sid, had brought 3 arias where we went, can they sing that? And we went into it, and you could sort of sing what you put down, because you put down "A Mes Amis," which you could sing okay.
I don't think I could have sung it in the... That one was fresh.
Yeah, that was fresh.
That was super fresh.
Yeah,
I think I'd done it. I'd never done it.
What else did you put down?
Orvi Ängstlich.
Oh, right, yeah.
And Dispildness.
You put 2 Mozarts?
Yeah, and then I also brought down Una Furtiva as well. So
right, okay.
The first year as well, I didn't bring in... I brought down some of my music, but I just assumed we weren't going to work it. And I didn't have any arias, so it was just like art song and stuff.
Yeah.
But the second year, I just brought down as much stuff as I can,
as
I could. It was way better.
You've been singing pretty English floaty music for too long.
Yeah.
And then at opera school, what are you singing again? Pretty English floaty music. But still, the potential for you to... Well, in the final concert. But the potential for you... Sid sang a beautiful song called Second Lute Song from Benjamin Britten's Gloriana in the final concert and attracted quite a lot of attention, actually, for it. It's a very good performance.
That was unexpected.
Really? Why?
I don't know. It just was... I feel like for a lot of these things, I fly under the radar.
Yeah.
For the bigger things, especially with the basic Second Lute Song. It's
not
really
big and in your face and flashy.
Yeah.
But that kind of... We had a lot of... In that final concert, we had a lot of attempts from a lot of people to do big and in your face and flashy, and not all of them worked. But then your attempt to do quiet and subtle and very controlled was executed very, very well, and therefore it stood out amongst a lot of the others.
Time Ben said anything nice to me ever.
Well, I don't want to give the man a big head, is the thing, you know? Very easy for singers to get ahead of them. So no, but come on, I'm not the first person to say this to you. You know, it was impressive. It was good, impressive. But what a lot of people told you as well was, okay, this will be impressive, but you shouldn't be singing just this.
Yeah.
Because this isn't developing your voice. This is your happy hunting ground. You know.
Yeah.
Diversify the portfolio.
Yeah.
Goodness me. You're sounding like James Boyd.
Yo. I don't know. This like I said, the singing "A Mes Amis," if I sang it within the first week, I don't think it would have been successful. No. I needed the last week to do it.
Well, I think Ollie was probably very helpful to you, wasn't he?
Kristen more so.
Oh, well,
yeah, I don't think I worked on it
Kristen.
With Ollie, actually.
No, not that itself, no, but to have another... Oh, he's a different kind of tenor.
To have another tenor is always nice.
Yeah,
because
that's a difficult thing here in New Zealand. There aren't really any tenor teachers around.
No.
Like there's Penne whenever he decides to show up, and there's Patrick Power down in wherever doing whatever it is that Patrick Power does, and that's kind of it, except for when Te Oti tries to sing high A's, which is a terrifying experience. So
he's got the strong ones to me still, but it's I was going to say something. Yeah, it's quite nice that. Because they know the mechanism and they know when you're cheating and other people wouldn't necessarily.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a great time this last.
Because I remember you leaving opera school in a very, very good mood.
Yeah.
Because there's that initial enthusiasm of, wow, maybe I'm in a better place than I thought I was. And then you have to suddenly deal with the consequences of that. And that's where the rubber starts to hit the road and things start to get scary, right?
That's exactly right. Well, because...
But bring that back to the source of all that, which is doing well. So again, you are to a certain degree suffering from success. So you shouldn't be so down on yourself.
You know what my biggest fear is?
What?
I had a similar thing with... Sorry?
Spiders.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, but no. It's... I don't want to get asked to do something, and I had this audition... And when in my head it's a big thing and it means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And I sing, and it might not be as like optimal as I would like it.
Yeah.
And the people on the other side are just like, who brought this guy? That is my biggest fear ever. And it was quite nice at opera school because I was like, I didn't really think about that because it never happened to me before. And I kind of just did the second lead song. It was fine. I'd done it a bunch of times. It was all good.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of happened, and things snowballed. People wanted to talk to me, and that was quite nice. It was also quite nice to hear that people had been watching my development.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, I don't know. It was a bizarre.
We have been following your career with some interest.
Yeah, I don't know. I always feel like I flew under the radar with these when it came to the big things. But in my head, big things.
There's often been. I feel you have the Manasseh thing. You've probably suffered a little. Well, you've probably benefited and suffered. You've probably, for as long as Manasseh was here, you probably felt you were constantly overlooked in favor of Manasseh because he was a few years ahead of you and evidently very developed. And so he was inevitably going to get the attention before you would. On the other hand, he was something for you to emulate as well.
I mean, I feel like when I started my undergrad, like Manasseh was kind of away.
Was he? Really?
I think so, yeah.
I know Lockie talks about this sometimes because he was, of course, at university with the Putty brothers.
Yeah.
And so, it's very easy to feel overlooked when you're...
Oh, no, I don't think I've ever...
There. So,
I've always looked up to Manasseh, even since high school. And I don't think I would ever feel... Yeah, he wasn't really around as much when...
Interesting.
And to be fair, when I was in first year, and maybe he was still around, he was already doing kind of like the kind of private and other professional gigs and kind of making steps.
I often forget how young you are. You're a fucking baby. It's very annoying.
That's what I mean. Annoying. I thought I had a heap. Everyone keeps telling me I had a heaps of time. Apparently not. I've got to do all this stuff.
You do have time, so strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah. I'm motivated to do this. I've never felt
Don't
overlooked.
rush. But
that's the thing. So it's a weird I don't feel rushed.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a lot of work in this very small space of time, but I feel like I want to do this. Like I called somebody that we both know, and I kind of panic called them, being like, I don't know what to do with my life. Please help. Yeah. And we kind of talked for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and at the end of it, I was like, I think I've been having itchy feet for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of manifested itself into me being like, we just want to leave Auckland. I'll go live in Dunedin for a bit. Then I'll...
Oh, well, let's not get too drastic. Come on.
I'll live in the Waikato for a bit.
Oh, good Lord.
I know. That's how crazy it was.
Have you ever heard the phrase festina lente?
No.
It's a Latin phrase. It means hurry.
Why would you think I would have?
Well, I don't know. I sometimes like to drop a little culture into the group chat. It usually goes unnoticed, but you never know. No, festina lente, it means hurry slowly. So, by all means, hurry and strike while the iron is hot, but don't rush it. Do it properly. Do it methodically. Do it in a well thought out way. Hurry slowly.
Yeah. I get that, but I kind of like this.
Like what?
That this is sort of kind of all happening way too soon. I didn't realize that this is happening. I'm learning so quickly.
Yes.
And there's pressure. Or maybe, I don't know if there is external pressure on me or if I put the pressure on myself. Either way, I like the fact that there's pressure.
Good.
And it's making me get the work done.
Good.
And I think... I don't think I'll ever be ready.
Oh, that's the thing.
To go over.
No, well, nobody will ever feel that they are completely ready to go over. But you do it anyway.
Yeah, I do it because I want to. And I want to work. Not, just for I want to put in the work. I want to see what it's like. But yeah, just a weird it's a weird little situation we're all in. It's just weird. Turning into big boys and girls now. That's all it is. But yeah. No, I'm glad that there are a lot of people around to support myself, support you, support all the other young kind of singers out there.
Yeah, there's a good support mechanism around.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. It shall all happen how it's meant to. I hope. Touch wood.
So you've been losing weight.
Yeah. I thought I would. Came out of lockdown 97 kgs.
97 kgs, really?
Yeah, it's not good.
How tall are you?
5'6".
Really?
No, 6 foot something.
Well.
No, I'm 5'10". 5'10".
You're 5'10".
Yeah.
When you say came out of lockdown, what day? When?
After the big 3-month lockdown, I was 97.
Oh, okay. So like just after opera school, or just before opera school?
I think opera school must have been like 90 to 93 or something, because I was okay looking then. Yeah.
Oh, so this is before opera school, you mean?
Before opera school, yeah.
Oh,
After we came out of the big 3-month lockdown.
Right, got you. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
You did. I mean, in fairness, you probably have a lot more muscle mass than I do, so that probably bulks you up quite a lot.
Yeah, I'm 88 now.
Are you?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I've been 2 years ago or something like that. I got fed up with my clothes not fitting, and I decided to lose weight in a dramatic way. So I was about 100.
Cheaper than buying new clothes, to be
fair. Yeah, true. So I was about 105 kgs, and then over the course of the next 4-ish months or something like that, I got down to 89 kilos, which was fairly drastic. And I looked fairly different. And then over the course of... I held that for a while, and then over the course of a very, very busy year in which I didn't have a lot of time to cook, I just gained it all back again. And then, despite my best efforts to try to stave off the inevitable, inevitability came anyway. And so after opera school, I weighed myself, and I was 101.7. And I thought, oh, all right, let's start again. So I've been doing it again. And when did we finish opera school?
23rd of Jan.
How do you know that?
I don't know.
Wow. Okay, that's an interesting thing. All right, so we came out of opera school 23rd of Jan. As of yesterday, I weighed 91.5 kilograms. So thank you very much.
Clap track. I had a clap track.
The crowd goes wild. Yes. So that's
very good.
Yeah, it's. I have a perpetual issue in my life, which is that I don't have a good sense of limits and when it's too much and too far and and all these things. Why are you going? Yeah,
it's because I suffer from it too.
Oh, really?
Like when I want to lose weight and I kind of like.
I thought that was a yeah instead of yeah. We noticed.
No. I it's so easy to fall down if you want to lose weight. Then I do it all the time.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, oh, cool. I just won't eat as much as I do.
So how have you been? So you're at what 80 something now?
88. Yeah.
Right. So you lost like 9 or 10 something.
10.
So
yeah.
10.
About
the same as me. Basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So how have you done that? I'm guessing quite a lot of exercise was going on.
Yeah, I gym every day.
Yeah, right, okay.
Oh, close to every day.
Mm-hmm.
Jiu-jitsu as well.
Okay.
Good for cardio.
Okay.
And then I just try and look after what I eat as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Not perfect by any stretch.
Right,
but
yeah.
I had a decent calorie deficit out many of the days that I do, but I just can't. I don't have the time to measure food.
Really?
Like I'm not really... I'm just not really bothered.
Okay.
I think I really should.
Yeah.
But
so I've done none of that. So I have tried exercise. I have tried the gym. I've tried all of the above. I just cannot do it without just hating every simpering, sickening second of it.
But I'm telling you, you need it. Like it's hard for the first like kind of month.
No. I've given it a good like. There was like a year where I had a personal trainer even. And I was gymming like several times.
You don't need a
week.
personal trainer. You need a gym bro. That's what you need.
Do I really? I was going with Chris for a while. We went down there and it was all right.
I love crisp. Is he a gym bro?
Well, I mean, he's not a gym rat,
Yeah.
but he was a musical theatre person. They have to keep themselves in trim. No, but I've
We need to get you into powerlifting.
I really don't think we do. I also have a feel. I recently discovered that my sister has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which gives you weak joints.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling I might as well, because it is genetic. Because I have had a thing in the past where I've subluxed my elbow my shoulder several times from fairly insignificant movements. And I do often feel I did often feel whenever I was trying to lift weights or endure physical exercise of some form that there was some kind of strain that was going to pass a point of no return at some point that my body could not bear. So I don't know, but maybe I'm just making excuses for being lazy and not enjoying going to the gym.
I think there are a lot of things you can do to combat that, though.
There are, yes, but they all involve significant quantities of effort and
diet.
Exactly, yeah. So what I've been doing is I took a look at my life, and I discovered that the vast majority of my calories and of my excess eating was not occurring in meals. It was occurring between them. It's just occurring from just being in the house and having snacks around and having no self-control and just constantly eating snacks all day.
It's non-satiating foods.
Yeah, exactly. Not satiating foods at all. So here's been my plan. I have been eating twice a day. And I've been eating fantastically the 2 times that I eat and not eating anything else in a day.
Good.
And it's
restricted eating is
it
really
works.
helpful for
I
some
tell
people.
you, it works rather well, I must say. And like the meals I'm having, because I'm fairly limited as a cook, so there's not that much I can do. So I've been having burgers and fries, and I had steak, egg, and chips for breakfast this morning.
Protein, carbohydrates.
I know. I have weird eating cycles, and pasta and good curries and stuff. It's all good stuff. So when I do eat, I actually enjoy it, and I eat a good amount of it, and it's nice and satisfying. And in between, I just have to sort of not eat. I have been drinking a lot.
Water.
Drinking a lot of Sprite Zero as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not necessarily so good for you. The last few days I've been drinking about 1.5 liters of Sprite Zero a day.
You need to not do that. I
have no self-control. If I have a bottle of Sprite Zero in the house, I'll just keep drinking it.
Dude, I'm a slut for a Coke Zero, dude. Oh my god! Like if it was in the house, I would drink it every day.
You could have stopped before for a Coke Zero.
Yes.
True. Yeah.
But nah, it's
It's not as good as the non-zero stuff, but
what?
Just taste-wise.
I like it. I prefer it to regular.
Do you? I've never had Coke, so I don't know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, when I was young, when I was young,
I can't believe I just said, yeah, fair enough, like it was normal. No.
No, when I was young, as a form of child abuse master's education, my parents took one of my teeth when it fell out and left it in a glass of Coca-Cola for the night and showed it to me in the morning.
Yeah, gets every time.
Yeah, and as a result, I thought that there was something uniquely poisonous about Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
So I stayed away from it. And by the time I realized the error of my ways, I was like 18. And by that point, I'd spent 18 years of my life not drinking Coca-Cola, and it sort of seemed like a shame to break the streak.
Yeah,
so now I've just sort of kept it going. So now I have no particular reason not to drink Coke, but I just still don't do it. But I will. I am a slut for Sprite. I cannot deny it.
I try not to drink fizzy stuff as much as I can now.
Oh, it's good.
But sometimes, dude, I crave it sometimes, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something quite nice about like a cold can of Coke Zero, and it's like,
and it tastes
on the back of your throat.
Yeah, it tastes so much better from a can as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what is there. Is there something chemical about that?
You're asking the wrong guy. Oh, wait, I'll look it up. Can you pull that up, Jamie?
Oh, yeah. Pull that up. Yeah, let's see. I mean, sure, there must be something to it. I don't know. But I'm, ladies and gentlemen of Sidscussion audience, am I or am I not correct? All fizzy drinks taste infinitely better consumed out of a can than consumed out of a bottle. Now, a glass bottle is all right, but a plastic bottle is the death of soft drinks. This cannot be allowed to stand. Plastic bottles are just the worst. Unless you pour from the plastic bottle into a glass, in which case it tastes okay, but still. Alternatively, you can just drink it all through a straw and then it all tastes okay. Are you finding anything? Or is it purely a placebo effect?
Aluminium cans aligned with a polymer that can absorb small amounts of flavor, and plastic bottles may transfer. I cannot say that word.
Show? Can you show? Okay, for example, aluminium cans aligned with a polymer that can absorb small amounts of flavor, and plastic bottles may transfer acetaldehyde that can alter the way a drink tastes. Glass is a more inert material than either aluminium or plastic, so it's less likely to affect the flavor of your drink. Fascinating. I've also just seen, as a little insight, Sid appears to be using GarageBand to record the audio to all of his podcasts.
Yeah. Easy.
Fair enough. Overlay some keyboards on top of it.
Yeah, maybe. I do need to create a little theme song.
Do you?
I think so, yeah.
You want a theme song?
Yeah. Don't make one now. I want to make it like kind of
Jiu-Jitsu by day, Sidscussions podcast by night, all day.
Oh my god, all the girls listening will have no idea what that is.
It's a very niche joke.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh god.
So am I so restricted eating? Is this the thing that I'm doing?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's something fasting is what it's called.
Well, I don't think it's is it intermittent fasting? I don't think it's intermittent.
Yeah, it would be because
Is it?
if you're only eating 2 times a day.
Yeah.
Then
I'm still yet to work out on what the optimal timing is for those 2
It's
times
not really.
a day.
Because it all
No, just in terms of my mental state.
fair enough.
Just getting through.
Well, it's when it comes to losing weight, it all kind of matters. The only thing that matters is that you're in a calorie deficit, and that just kind of helps that. It's not
what doesn't
reason
help with
to-
that is that I do literally no exercise. Like
Yeah.
my job is to sit down. You know.
Yeah, you should probably exercise a little bit. Just
I know
even
I
just
should,
to get
yeah.
your blood flowing. You go
Yeah,
for
I know.
walks.
No.
You
Alice
should,
is always
dude.
trying to get me to go for walks.
You should, dude. You feel a lot better afterwards. You feel horrendous doing it. I remember
you feel a lot better.
No,
afterwards.
I used to not. I hate cardio.
Yeah.
And I remember this last lockdown, I would just be feeling grumpy and some people would just go for a walk, and I'm like, I don't want to go for a fucking walk. I just force myself to go for one with my dog and get back and feel just like a little bit better.
I don't know. I've been on too many walks that I was forced to go on. They were
Yeah,
all
fair
horrible. So
maybe you should find like a. I feel like a cult leader when I say this.
Okay.
Jiu-Jitsu is a very intellectual pursuit if you think about it. I think you would like it.
You think I am built for jiu-jitsu, do you?
No, I think you would like it.
Okay. For one, I'm looking at the state of your hands and wondering how this would work out in my particular line of work.
Yes. For those
What happened here?
For
What
those
is
that are
this?
listening, I've got like a tape finger. I was training last night and I don't know, grabbed something the wrong way and just kind of twisted my finger like that. So just a little bit of support.
That's the kind of thing that
It very rarely happens. I think the worst injuries I've got recent, and it's not even because it doesn't hurt, but I've been taping up my ear, the piercing.
Yeah.
And
Looks great, by the way.
Thank you.
Very attractive.
Fashion and that.
Yeah.
I've been trying to like tape it up and stuff because I can't take it out, so it heals.
Right. Okay.
But I've been trying to tape it up, and the last few times I've taken off the tape that I've got it all like bandaged up really nicely.
Yeah.
It's just been like blood. That's kind of gross. It doesn't hurt though, which I think is a good sign. But
right.
I feel like the bleeding is not optimal.
you know what? Getting back to dieting. You know what? Well, it's not diet. Well, it sort of is dieting, I suppose. You know what I sometimes wonder? Is this worth it? Is it worth it to actually regulate your eating and not eat all the things that you want to in favor of a better body? When I really like eating.
Yeah,
it's very fun.
I don't know. I feel like once you're
some unhealthy things are very tasty.
You know what it is your gut biome gets used to your diet.
Yeah.
So like when you stop eating like shit
that's the
food,
problem. I've been eating shit food for quite a lot of my life.
You feel like, I can just do this because my body's just used to it now. And then when you cut it out,
Yeah.
Your body's like, I need to not eat good food. But when you do it for long enough, I'm not saying I'm perfect with my diet. I definitely eat like crap food way more than I probably should. But it's kind of always regulated within a calorie deficit as much as I can.
Yeah.
And I always feel not mentally miserable, but my body just feels super lethargic afterwards. So I'm just like, I just don't really want to feel like this anymore.
Yeah.
So I just know what to do to.
See, I barely ever think about the energy side of it. Like often, if I have a teaching day, which is quite a long day, I usually don't schedule myself in a lunch break because I hate taking breaks.
Yeah.
And usually because I take forever to get out of bed in the morning, I don't have time to eat breakfast. So there'll be quite a lot of days where I don't eat a thing until like 4:30.
You shouldn't do that either.
But I feel fine.
It's not really about that.
Yeah. Okay.
You shouldn't feel fine. That's not what fitness is about. No, well, it's a common thing. Like if you stop eating, I read it somewhere. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna pull this up. I need to do this way more. Stop eating.
I mean, I don't know. It's just I don't. The concept of eating to remove hunger is not a thing that has ever really factored into my thought processes. I don't eat because I'm hungry. I eat because it's fun. Just probably not the healthy way around to have it.
I mean, dude, I do that so often. Just like, like when I'm bored at work, I'll just like go outside. I was like, am I bored or am I hungry?
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. I eat out of boredom all the time. This is why I've had to just physically stop buying anything that is snackable. Because otherwise I just will snack on it. All right, what you got, Jamie?
So
hit me with the good science.
Not eating kicks our body into starvation mode, pushing our body to conserve food and store it as fat.
Oh, I love that.
So any like residual food you already have like in that your body's still processing, and if you don't eat the next day, it'll just be stored as fat.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah, I love that.
Great. Thanks, body. Really doing us a solid one there.
But yeah, it's also just good to just, I don't know. I'm a little bit different because I'm more kind of physically active than you.
Just say it. You're fitter than me.
Yes.
Yes.
But like also I do a lot. I have to do the exercise. Otherwise I will go crazy.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. That's the only thing keeping me sane.
See, I heard this all the time. Like when I did therapy, they tell me as well, do exercise. Great for your mental state. So I exercised, and afterward I just felt tired and really exhausted.
Maybe you're not doing the right type of exercise.
Well, I don't know. I tried it all. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, there's something not there. Like if I do like excessive cardio, for example, I just feel super miserable.
I don't know.
But then like I don't think my body's meant to run. I just like lifting heavy stuff. And it's a really, like, for so long, people told me that, like, lifting heavy was, like, bad for singing and all this stuff.
Oh, yes, there's a whole mythos that surrounds this.
To be honest, ever since I started, like, doing smaller reps and with controlled breathing, breath control has been probably the best it's ever been, to be honest.
Really? Because, I mean, if lifting heavy weights made you a bad singer, then Pene Pati has, I don't know what's happened there.
Well, he does Olympic weightlifting. He's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's insane.
So I don't know. It's always seemed a bit too individualized for me to pay too much credence.
I don't know. I feel like there's always something there to... If fitness is too big... I don't know if you'd be able to do HIIT workouts. That would be...
Well, I did a few with my personal trainer. There was this god awful creation of some satanic, sadistic, tortured soul that we had at my old gymnasium. It was called a Jacob's Ladder. Have you heard of these?
Yeah. I think
it's a never-ending ladder that just constantly moves
like a
down,
treadmill kind of thing.
and you climb up it forever and ever and ever. Amen. And they can control the speed on the thing as well. And I was tortured on that thing for many, many a session.
Yeah,
and I hated every simpering second of it. So I don't know. Chris took me to a spin class at the gym, and it was even one of those ones that seemed designed for the ADHD rattled Gen Z of today, because it was like one of those, bright flashing lights, and it takes you through, a virtual reality like Mario Kart-esque, cyberspace around you. And, for the first 5 minutes or so, I was vaguely entertained by the flashing lights, and the moving things. And then the exercise-y portion of it started to kick in, and I did not, no. So I don't know.
I wonder if it's just like your mindset to exercise in general, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
What don't you want? Besides the fact that you feel tired doing it, is there anything else that you just...
It's boring.
I think you should do... Like, did you ever play any sports growing up? You played tennis, right?
I did play, and I did enjoy playing tennis.
Can I tell you?
Yes. What?
I remember we were talking on the car on the way home from upper school, and I said I thought tennis was one of the most boring sports ever. When it comes up on like my Facebook reels, I cannot stop watching it. Like some of the points are crazy.
Yes.
It's actually super interesting. Yeah.
It's a wonderful sport, tennis. And yes, I did enjoy playing it. I think a large reason for my enjoyment of playing it is that it is a sport that is largely concerned with hitting things, which is something from which I derive great enjoyment, but not at any cost to your hands or wrists. And it's also, there's something pleasingly geometric about it. Like, have you ever watched the most thrilling sport in the world? Do you know what I'm going to say next? Say it with me, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3, snooker. Yes, the most thrilling sport in the world.
I thought you were going to say darts.
No. Oh, darts is pretty good as well. Darts is a very high intensity. No, but snooker, seriously, you ever watch Ronnie O'Sullivan sink a 147? Oh, glorious.
No,
but there's something very pleasing about sports that involve some kind of geometry to them. I quite enjoy that, and like tennis is the same with the angles around the court and stuff like that. I find it so there's something very aesthetic and also cathartic about it. So yes, I did enjoy playing tennis. The problem with tennis, though, is that it requires the presence of another willing person to participate in any exercise, which is the difficulty.
It's quite funny you say that. I was walking up, where uni is. There's the down car park there.
Yes.
The Stanley Street car park.
Which we have a colloquial name for that we must say.
Yeah. And I was walking up and I see this girl crying on the... what's that building?
You do
like
have
church.
this effect on people.
Yeah, no, it's sad. But no, she was crying. She was sitting on the corner and she was having a cry. I was like, are you okay? She was like, yeah, I'm fine. And I realized I recognized her from somewhere. And I had seen her on a night out a while ago. So I was like, you look familiar. And then she was like, oh, are you from? I was like, cool. So we talked about what was going on in her life, and she had issues with her ex, and she was like, oh yeah, I don't know, we used to play tennis together, and now it's just not the same because I don't have anyone to play tennis with.
I have tried playing tennis with Alice, and it would be fun if she were capable of hitting the fucking ball.
I'm telling you, dude. Look, I'll show you this.
Love you, Alice.
If you are wanting to find a sport for yourself that requires you to get out of your head and is not boring.
Are you selling me on jiu-jitsu?
100%. Like, this guy looks like you, bro.
What is... No, he doesn't.
He's a jiu-jitsu black belt.
How does this guy look like me?
He's kind of nerdy. You can kind of sense the quirks.
Not all... This is racism. Not all white guys with glasses look alike, Sid.
That's a lie.
He doesn't even have my voluminous beard. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. But, yeah, I'm just saying... tape up your hands before you come in, maybe, if you're worried about that kind of thing. And it's not often you get hurt. It's just like...
You won't break your fingers that often.
And then it's not broken. It's just... It's
just maimed.
Yeah. But, I don't know. I worry because maybe it's just me, and maybe it's because I've, going through a lot emotionally, and I kind of need this. And when I see people that don't need this, I'm just like, you're missing out on feeling...
Yeah, this is something Alice asked me relatively recently. What do you do to deal with stress?
Yeah.
And I thought about it, and I thought, I'm not sure that I do deal with stress.
Maybe you eat.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, possibly.
Because that's what I did.
Right.
And I didn't realize I was doing it.
Or the other
thing...
And
I had a drinking problem as well.
You know what else I do? I work.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
I fill my days with rehearsals and gigs forever and ever. Amen. And it's quite a fun way to distract yourself from stress. It's not healthy.
Well, to be honest, it's the same thing with the gym. It doesn't cure anything. Any way you do it, you're self-medicating yourself.
Yes.
It's just there are healthier ways to self-medicate yourself than eating a fucking bag of chips every day. You fatty.
But most medicine doesn't taste quite so good as that is the thing,
What do you mean?
Well, the whole bag of chips. To watch the Formula One race. I watch Formula One as well. That's a fun sport as well. Although I'm not sure that I could just take up Formula One as an outlet for my stress. But anyway, so to watch that
takes it. You have to be midlife crisis to do something.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
I know, and also rich beyond the means that I have currently. But anyway, so I bought myself a bag of chips from the supermarket just for the purpose of eating during the Formula One. A pretty sizable bag of chips. I thought, I'll munch on these throughout. And I devoured the whole thing within the first 10 minutes. and I was like, oh, damn, what do I do now?
They're just so chips are just so consumable.
Yes. It's funny that, isn't it? If there's one thing I have a severe addiction to, it's potato crisps.
Oh, it's just so
it's very easy
Copper
to
kettle barbecue chips. You put those in front of me, I'm destroying every single one.
Although the Snacker Changi salt and vinegar ones are pretty delightful.
Which ones are those ones?
They're like the ridge cut, fairly thick ones.
Oh right, yeah.
But having said that, in New Zealand, people of New Zealand, I beg of you, I entreaty of you, as a foreign visitor to your shores, please get a better selection of potato crisp flavors, all right? Your current selection is unacceptably narrow-minded, all right? I come from England, the land of the potato chip, a land of excitement and opportunity, where we will happily devour such glorious flavors as cheese and onion, or as...
We have cheese and onion.
No, not like in England. Or as prawn cocktail. Or
we have that too.
No, you don't. Or as Worcester sauce. Or as pickled onion.
I've absolutely
glorious
seen all
flavors.
of those Pringle flavors.
Pringles?
Yeah, Pringles.
No, you have not. You have seen sour cream and chives. You've seen salt and vinegar. You've seen barbecue. Pringles have been coming out with some okay ones recently. Like they came out with the chicken schnitzel recently. That was pretty good.
What was the one that you said?
Prawn cocktail.
I've seen a prawn cocktail.
Well, chips. I encourage you to direct me instantly to the nearest location where I can purloin one of these prawn cocktail chips. Because currently there is one shop up on the store called Union Jack's. Shout out to Union Jack's. Free PSA, the best shop in Auckland. Go visit them. Because they sell, when they have stock, because of course it's hard to get stock at the moment, they have the best stock around of English crisps. Because they sell exclusively English food. And it's glorious.
There's another shop like that sells exclusively American food. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah.
The problem is if you go there, you have to eat American food, and then that's not such
American
a great
food is dead. I'm not even going to lie.
But seriously, have you ever had a packet of Monster Munch?
No.
Oh.
I want to tell you what the best chips are right now.
Okay, go on.
Crisp. It's like a Fijian Indian snack. They're called Twisties, and they're like... oh, God. I don't even know what they're called because they're just so basic. It's like the American thing, and... Cheetos.
Oh, right, yeah. In terms of texture. Yeah, okay, yeah.
They're like that, except better.
Right, okay.
And they're like thicker. They don't have any air in them.
Yeah.
They're like way crispier.
Okay, interesting.
So good. The flagship flavor is, and it's the only flavor I like, cheese fromage.
Cheese fromage?
Yeah.
Now, one of those words feels redundant in that name. I wonder what it tastes like. No, but in England, we have something similar in England. We have cheesy Wotsits in England, which are kind of like, what are those fucking things that Bluebird makes? They come in the blue packet with the penguin on it, and they're like these little strips of things. They're kind of like Cheetos, but they're not really Cheetos. I can't remember what they're called. Well, anyway, in England, we have cheesy Wotsits, and they are those, but with the delightful added quirk of, number one, they taste way cheesier, and number two, they have a texture that is scientifically designed to find every available inch of space between your teeth and instantly wedge themselves in it
same with
for
Tootsies.
days after
Same
days.
with
And let me tell you, it is a delightful experience. You're walking down the street one day and suddenly you go, oh, Didn't know that
That
was
is
there.
disgusting.
It's the most delightful experience you will ever have. Monster Munch are wonderful things. They're a similar sort of puffed I don't know what it is, puffed corn chip, but they're in the shape of like a Yeti's footprint, and their flavor is pickled onion. And it is the most glorious thing you will ever taste in your life.
That's the one sad thing about fitness that I'm just I'm still trying to get used to, and I kind of feel sad that I'm liking the flavor of protein shakes now. Because when my first ever protein shake, I was like, I'm trying to get massive. Let's go.
Wait a minute. How do you make your protein shakes? What's your recipe?
So for breakfast, I'll have 30 grams oats and a scoop of protein with almond milk, and then I'll blend that up, and then I'll have that for breakfast. That's one, and then 2 scoops protein, water. That's my...
Oh my God, you do that?
Yeah.
What it says on the packet, like just add this to water. I tried that once with this.
A lot of people do like milk.
With this like vanilla thing, it's just add it to the water and drink it. So I just added it to the water and drink it.
Tastes like socks.
It does taste like socks, yeah. Like vanilla-y socks. It tastes like a Smurf sock. It's not
gross.
Not a fun time.
Right. And now I'm getting used to it. I was like, oh, it's quite nice. It's like some pre-workouts as well, which is like kind of tastes gross. I had an amazing pre-workout yesterday. I was wired for the entire day. It was quite nice. But the gym manager gave it to me, and he was like,
"Now, see, I have never had a pre-workout in my life.
Maybe that's what you're missing."
Really?
Oh, I don't know. I think your head would explode there. Is the only thing.
In what sense?
You already play piano pretty fast.
Yeah. Yes.
It's just like a cocktail of various things, caffeine mostly.
Yeah. I tend to avoid the caffeine drinks.
Yeah, maybe pre-workout.
I don't know what effect they might have. I tend to avoid.
So there's one that I took yesterday. I asked the manager after I'd drunk it,
right?
How many grams of caffeine? He said 420 milligrams.
Oh yeah. 420 grams of caffeine. Half a kilo of caffeine.
I haven't slept in 3 days, and I only took it yesterday.
I'm aware that my mental state is difficult for other people to metabolize at the best of times. So I tend to avoid mind or mood altering drinks. So no alcohol, no drugs either, because I'm concerned at the effect that they might have on my ability to engage in polite society.
I finished 1 month sober.
Nice.
One of the best decisions I've ever made.
Really?
I don't really like that stuff anymore, man.
What kind? What? Just alcohol?
Yeah. The last few times I've gotten super drunk, I've gotten a bit sad, and I was like, maybe I should sort this out.
More of the world seems to be coming around to my opinion that alcohol does not taste good. I have held this opinion for a long time and have been ridiculed for it many a time for being a baby.
Now. There's very few things that after like a really long day at work, and you go meet up with your friends and you crack open a cold one, and as soon as that beer hits your lips, you're like, oh my God.
I have never found any joy in cracking a cold one.
You don't drink coffee as well, I assume for the same reason.
I do not. No, I do not.
Because it tastes gross.
It tastes abysmal. Alice every so often when we go out to like brunch or something, will say, just have a little taste of it. This one's different, I promise. There's a reason they smother this shit with cinnamon and delicious things on top of it. Just to try and convince you for a brief second
that what she has?
It tastes good.
Is that her coffee?
I don't know what she has.
Alice, if you're drinking cappuccinos, drink a flat white like a grown-up.
I don't know. She has like hatred with a side of masochism or something. I don't know what it is, but it tastes abysmal every time.
I just drink. Sometimes I just like a black coffee, no milk.
I was once by the lovely Mark Dorrell. I was given a piece of chocolate that was like 99% cocoa. And I think this is the closest I've ever come to consuming coffee. And it was the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted in my life.
Cocoa and coffee are two
I know they're different. Yes, I know. But they're sort of, similar worlds and whatever,
Okay, we'll leave that one there.
Beans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Similar. Kind of.
Not at all, but okay.
Really? Okay, well, both appallingly bitter things that need other things to make them taste good.
No, but there are nuances to the flavor. You got different types of beans, you got different types of...
Yeah, some of them taste absolutely hideous, some of them taste mildly hideous, some of them just taste appalling, it's...
I did have to wean, when I first started drinking coffee, I had to do it slowly. I was like, okay, I'll do the mochas first. So it's hot chocolate with like a shot of coffee in it. And then I kind of graduated to the cappuccino, which took me a while because it's just the powdering on top. And then I just started drinking flat whites, and I just love coffee.
Any
so
meal
much.
that requires Stockholm syndrome to enjoy, I don't think is worth it.
Well, now I need it. Maybe there's something about like needing something bitter in the morning to get through your day.
Yeah. It's like you just need to drink enough of it to develop an addiction to it, and then you will love it. I
don't know, dude.
But you've been going alcohol free.
Alcohol free, yeah.
And how has that been affecting you?
It's been fine.
You're really stressed.
No. I think if I am still drinking alcohol now, I just would feel even more stressed because I'll just get super hammered and then wouldn't be able to function the next day.
Right. Did you ever have a drinking problem?
Yeah.
Really?
Now that I look back, I think I did.
Really? What does a drinking problem look like for you?
Well, when my first and second year uni, I was going through all that stuff with, a girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah.
And I just go out like every night and just like drink and drink and drink.
Every night?
And drink. Yeah. Oh, not
Really?
every night, but like every weekend kind of thing, easily.
Yeah.
And just like drink, eat like shit. Beers and beers and beers and beers. I don't even know how many units I would. It was a lot, too much.
Yeah.
And I was just not looking after myself and not drinking water at all and all this stuff. And like looking back, I would wake up in the mornings, my stomach would be like hurting, I'd be getting cramps, and every morning I would like vomit bile.
That's the other reason that I never really took up drinking in a major way. People used to tell me, "Oh, but you have so much fun," and I would be like, "My dude, I see you afterwards. It doesn't look like fun, my friend."
Nah, well, back then, back then it was like still fun and stuff. But it was the way I was drinking. I think I don't want to. There are levels to drinking problems, and I wasn't at a level where it was kind of worrying. It was just like kind of like, this makes me feel good, so I'm just going to do this, and I'm having fun with friends, and it's kind of okay. It was never excessive as like I need to drink to make myself feel better about myself. It was just kind of like it was enough of a problem where I wasn't caring about other aspects of my health, and in that sense, I would classify it as a problem, to be honest. But I was never addicted or anything like that. Yeah, in the same way, but I had an eating problem.
Yeah,
where I'll just eat shit food all the time. That's how I kind of classify that. I feel like I should make that really clear.
Have I told you about the one time I drank a lot of alcohol?
No! And why wasn't it with me?
Oh, because I didn't know you.
Oh, fair enough.
So this was like, I was in high school.
Yeah.
And I was home alone on a Sunday because my parents and all the rest of my family had gone to Evensong. And I was
Nothing screams like a binge drink than Evensong.
I was more than happy to leave them to, I'm sure, the debauchery and revelry of an evening singing Bird. So I left them off to go, and I was at home. And my father is one of those people who has a drinks cabinet. So a cabinet full of, bottles of lovingly assorted drinks that he has purloined from the finest, the finest milleries in all of Scotland and whatever. So I was home alone. I was bored, as I often am. And so I thought, I wonder what I'll do to pass the time today. So I looked at the drinks cabinet and I thought, there's an awful lot of different kinds of drink in here. And, I'd been exposed to some of these. I'd drunk wine on occasion. Never really enjoyed it, but And I saw, okay, we got red wine, we got white wine, and what is this? We got port, and we got sherry, and we got whiskey, and all these interesting concoctions. So I thought, I wonder what they all taste like. So sort of as a scientific experiment, I thought, I'll try a bit of each, and we'll see what happens. The only thing was, not having been exposed to alcohol, I didn't really know what an appropriate quantity of whiskey is.
Yeah.
And I later discovered it's very small, actually, as it turned out. So I just sort of got a glass, and, I'm used to drinking water. So I poured in, like, a bit of port, drank that, tastes like petrol. Okay, maybe sherry's better. Drink that, tastes like petrol with sugar in it. Okay, fine. Let's drink a bit of whiskey. Let's drink a bit of that. My parents came home to me stoned out of my mind on the couch watching the Polar Express on television. And they're like, "You all right?" Like, yeah. All right. And then immediately after they got home, I started feeling rather odd, rather funny. And I went upstairs, and about half an hour later, I was being retrieved semi-conscious off the floor of the shower, having vomited everywhere. And I then was deposited in my bed, where I woke up the next day at about 1 PM. Feeling fine, by the way, not a hint of hangover.
But yeah, all of it's out of your system.
Yeah, exactly. And my mother knocked on my door and said, "Hello, feeling okay?" Like, yeah, feel okay? You sure? Yeah. And that was the last we spoke of it. And that was the last time I drank a significant amount of alcohol. Not the most pleasant of experience. And I still don't know how the Polar Express ends, which is the worst part of the story.
I don't think I've ever seen Polar Express.
Let me tell you, the first half is a wild ride.
Nah, man, it's okay. Like I thought drinking was like because I wasn't a big drinker in high school and at all actually, and then first year uni came around. I was like, shit, yeah, let's go. But then it just became like I said, unhealthy. But now I don't drink often, but when I do, party time. But the last few times I've been out and had a drink, I've just
the other thing about this,
sad.
The other thing about not drinking while other people are, it's quite fun to be the one person at the party who's actually aware of what's going on around them and will remember what happened the next day.
Dude,
that's quite fun.
Can I say something, bro?
Yes.
At the opera school after party.
Yes.
That shit pissed me off. I love everyone. Oh my god, dude. I was just a little bit like, I was tired.
Yeah.
And I was like getting a little bit drunk, and I was like, okay, cool. But everyone's getting wasted outside, right? Oh my god, bro. It was funny as. And so I'm just like, well, at the time I was like, this is a little bit too much for me right now. I'm just going to go chill in the kitchen with Scott.
Good decision.
So I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm drinking my soju, just a little bit drunk, and was like having a chat to Scott about my life and whatever. Everyone from outside decides to come to the kitchen and bring the party in there. I was like, what is happening now? I'm getting like increasingly more drunk and frustrated as I'm like going down my bottle of soju. Yeah, I don't know. It was I'm happy I did it. Now I don't drink as much anymore. Plus, it affects your. If I drink a lot, then the next day it's kind of like a write-off, and it's like I'd rather not feel miserable the next day.
It just
like
doesn't look worth it. Also, another thing, drinking Sprite instead of Chateau Marmont or whatever, it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah,
this is the other nice thing about dieting. I'm spending a lot less money on food than I was
so good,
before.
eh? Like
I sat down.
I packed my lunch for the first time in a while.
I've been a hobby of mine. Sometimes when I'm bored, I make spreadsheets. I'm not even very good at making spreadsheets, but let me show you. Sometimes I just think of a thing that would be good to sort of mathematize, and I make spreadsheets out of it. So, like the other day, I made a spreadsheet. I went through 5 years of bank statements, and I graphed my savings just to see how they've evolved over time, and that was a very fun exercise. But it occurred to me to wonder, how much is my food costing? So I went through, and You
went through all of it?
Yeah, I went through, because I only have so many things that I cook on a regular basis. So I went through and worked out how much each of them is costing me.
Okay.
So like chicken korma with rice is, how much do you think that's costing me for one meal, one portion?
You are British.
It's true.
Healthy estimate. For how long are we talking here? What's the time frame?
What do you mean?
What? So... Wait, is it average or average over a time frame or?
No. How much does it cost me in terms of money?
For one portion of?
Yeah, for one portion of chicken korma.
So $20 or something?
No. As in to cook it myself at home.
Oh, like what? $2 maybe? $3?
$3.36.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
When you think about how much you would spend for that elsewhere, all curries of that. Like 3 cheese sandwiches is costing me $2. $2.06 to be precise. And then this one. This one is especially taking me a cheeseburger with fries, and when I make a cheeseburger, I do like all the fixins. We're talking pickles. I put onion rings in that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And nice portion of fries, $3.95. And you compare that, you're going to Carl's Jr. I spend easily $20 on not that much food.
Yeah,
it's so much cheaper. It's amazing the amount of money you can save. My steak, egg, and chips this morning cost me $5.
I packed my own lunch. It's quite nice, like seeing
Yeah, I mean, you do feel a little bit like a 5-year-old, but it's quite nice to have something
Oh
you
no,
prepared
I like
yourself.
it. I've got my little lunch bag. Everyone comments on it. That's one of the best things I've ever bought for myself. It's quite nice.
No, it's nice to save money.
Oh, it's so good. And dude, I wonder how much money I would have saved if I just didn't buy as much food as I did.
try not to think about that too much. There was a period of time in my life where I was like this came to a head when I was graphing my savings. Where I'll show you. But I remember a time in my life where I was living at home. Like as in at my parents' house. This is some years ago. And I was literally leaving the house just to go to Burger King just to get lunch. To do nothing else, just to get lunch. And I was doing that every single day, sometimes twice a day, to eat. This is not a healthy paradigm. But I worked out how much this was costing me. And I mean, that's costing you like, $40, sometimes even $50 a day, because I would buy, of course, way too much food. I can't find the spreadsheet now, but that's all right. But anyway, I got to a point. I looked it up. In my savings at that point. There was a point where I was spending so much money. I'd gone to having less than $2,000 in my bank account. And that was all that I had in the world. And I'm still addicted to spending like $40, $50 a day on food, It's a difficult situation to be in. And then I got some scholarships and it fixed itself a little bit. And then I had no reason to stop buying fast food, so I just kept doing it. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's, what gets me every time? It's like the drive home and you see the drive-through and it's just like, oh, quickly zip through.
Oh, and especially the difficult thing.
Got paid yesterday, quickly zip through.
If I might moan about the difficulties of not having to get up and do an actual job in the morning, the difficulty is that all my work, well, not all my work, but when I'm rehearsing something, in general, I'm going home at like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And if I haven't eaten, I don't want to cook something when I get home. What's open? KFC drive-through and nothing else. So what am I supposed to do? So my car becomes the most common place that I eat. I mean, that's not an exaggeration.
Absolutely, for sure.
Significant periods of my life where that was true. So it's a difficult circumstance.
Yeah, I try my best to pack my lunches and stuff, and I got quite good at it over. I want to say just as we opened back from lockdown, but we're still in the red where everything's closed.
Yeah.
But the retail stores were still open, so that was quite good. But I wasn't doing all this, like I wasn't going to uni or anything.
Yeah.
But now that I'm kind of traveling more, it's tough. It's a little harder.
Like I was able to keep my weight down for a while when I didn't have that much on. And then the 16 gajillion projects that I foolishly said yes to started up, it's just very hard to stay away from it. But
and it also, tastes phenomenal.
Oh.
Like a wicked lunch and like a zinger stacker. Oh my
lunch.
God.
No, the best burger.
Every day of the week.
The best burger at KFC is the Tower Burger. It's a chicken
the one
fillet.
with the hash brown?
No, yes, it is. Chicken fillet and the special sauce and the hash brown. You put that shit together with a bit of mayonnaise.
Zinger stack is my one. It's a little spicy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can't do the spice?
Well, I mean, without wishing to draw on any national stereotypes, yes, I am English, and you are as you are, and I am very Caucasian in my taste for spice. All right, so I'm aware we should probably be wrapping up proceedings at some point in the immediate future, but something I wanted to. I know this is your show and you ask the questions.
No, but you go.
But I wanted to turn it around because how long have you been doing this podcast for now?
12 episodes now.
Because I was, of course, the first guest, a very auspicious beginning that your podcast had, and I'm very pleased to be the very first guest to ever return to the podcast as well.
That's absolutely not true.
It's absolutely true. There has been no one else. I am the bedrock.
You weren't even the first episode.
No, I refuse to hear it. I am the bedrock of Sidscussions. So it's been a few months now, 12 episodes. So I want to ask, how's it gone? Has it gone as you expected? Has it been an experience that's been fulfilling for you? And do you feel that you've evolved as a podcaster or as a conversationer, as an interlocutor over this time?
Yeah, I feel like it's gone a little bit less interviewy.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I noticed you didn't prepare any questions this time.
No, I think I had to the first couple times.
Yeah.
Just to kind of like get the ball rolling, but I think I've got like a good little system now of what I'm curious about. And it kind of molds in my head
right
for the day kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
What else did you ask me?
Well, do you feel you've evolved as... has it gone as you expected?
No, I thought it was going to be a lot smaller than it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't.
How so?
I wasn't expecting the response to be as kind of positive as it was as well.
What, you thought people were going to hate you?
No, I didn't think people were going to be negative about it. I just didn't think people would care.
Ah, interesting. Well, it's evident you've put a fair amount of effort into this little enterprise here.
Yeah, I mean,
was this shed already here when you?
So the shed was here, but all the panels and like all the sound equipment. And
this studio. We are, of course, in a studio with all the trappings. No, we are. For those who don't know, this is a shed in Sid's back garden, which has been lovingly adorned with soundproofed materials on the walls and a ring light that isn't on and that is never on, but for some reason is there behind the camera. Anyway.
I've kind of like Frankenstein. I don't even know what that is. Like a really cheap ring light to like a GoPro. And this GoPro, I'm going to throw it out. It's pissing me off. For the last like 7 episodes, it's like kept cutting out around like the hour and a half mark. I need to get a better camera. But so if anyone is out there that sponsors, I use Audible. What else do I use? Name something.
What?
Name like a product that we can get sponsored by.
A Tesla.
Tesla. Oh, yo! I drive a hybrid now, but totally open to getting one.
Well, let me tell you, we have a massive reach on this podcast. We are the second most prominent classical musicians to be advocates for Tesla in New Zealand. We will gladly sponsor your projects in exchange for 2, maybe 3 of your, high end cars. That's fine.
What else? I use Wrigley's chewing gum. Please, every time. City Fitness, if you'd like to sponsor. Honestly, I can't say that. It's fine. Don't worry about that. Anyway, yes.
But so why did you do this? And do you feel that you have gotten what you wanted to get out of it?
No, because yes and no. Like, I don't think it's done.
Oh no, of course not. No,
but I don't know. I just feel like everyone that I know is really interesting. And what we talk about on the day to day, especially in our kind of like little music circles, is something that's not celebrated enough.
Right.
And plus, I fucking hate interviews that like they ask you huge questions and you only get 30 seconds to answer them.
Oh yes.
Yes. And it's like, well, you need a kind of whole conversation to delve into this. And everyone has their stories and everyone has their own kind of reasons they do stuff. And if we both do the same thing, our reasons for doing this thing are both completely different. And plus, I'm like a kind of naturally curious person. And I like talking to people.
Yeah.
Of course, the first few times I did it, looking back, it was just like, whoa. And to be fair, this is the 12th episode, and so...
But you're relaxing into it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't really look at it as kind of as nerve-wracking anymore.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it's the people that I have on. Like last week I had Carla on.
Yes.
And it just makes everything so easy. So having people that are receptive and... it's just been... Yeah, people have been amazing and supportive. I think the only thing that I wish I didn't do is like, I say something that I mean and like that I mean to say.
Yeah.
Because that's how we would talk in normal conversation. And we kind of have to like censor ourselves a little bit in terms of like who we speak about and all this stuff. Which of course is like, how it is.
Yeah.
But no, other than that, I think it's great.
Subscribe to Sid's Patreon to see the outtakes that we can't put out in the public sphere.
Oh, I love everyone. I have nothing but respect for everyone, but...
That's a lie.
Some of you people out there, bro, gotta relax. Gotta relax with it. Just chill out, bro. It's not that deep.
No, you're doing great. I think it's a great thing you're doing here, and it's a lot of fun. So
it's a nice
kudos to you for just getting up and actually making something, because not everybody does that.
I don't know. At the end of the day, it's just chatting shit, isn't it?
It's a Sidscussion.
There we go. And on that note, team, we'll bid you good night. I think we're going for about like 3 hours or something. Two and a bit hours, maybe.
Have we? No, surely not.
What time did you get here? 7?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, 2 hours.
Yeah, fine.
Easy. Righto, team.
So long.
See you.
Farewell.
Bye.
Bye.